Welcome back. This is Sejeong versus Sky. We haven't seen Sky often enough, and I'm glad to see some miracles here. He's often piloting like 2 to 3 mentor. I'm not sure if it's in the main this occasion. I have to feel like game one he doesn't need it at all, and game two he sort of wants to get super aggressive. But this matchup could be quite interesting. I feel like provided you hit all of your land drops and you don't get set back by any wastelands and find enough swords to plowshares, as soon as you get to the Snapcaster sword phase of the game, then you're going to be just fine here. He just doesn't want to fall really far behind to a powered up 3-drop this turn. Like if Sejeong throws Knight of the Reliquary down and starts getting utility lands really fast. So Thalia resolves, but Sejeong does not have a second land drop. Thalia can be really problematic for any blue cantrip-based deck. I mean, this deck is running a full 4 copies of Predict and Ponder. And I think it's 3 portent, but if it's 4, I would be surprised. So this is a green suns for 0, which she's paying extra for.
하나 더.
그러니까 X 제로로 하면 지잖아요. 그래서 2만 원.
아, 오케이.
So he's just looking for Dryad Arbor here. That would have been quite a nice force target. There's not much else that's worth it. I think I saw a sword in Sky's hand, so he's being quite patient here. He decided, did he take the combat damage that turn first, just to see what was going to happen? He's making his land drops, he's going along very cleanly. His hand is pretty loaded with cantrips. There's lots of sorceries in this version, so a lot of the time you're seeing many more ponders and portents during like main phase actions than you used to with this deck. And there's the Knight of the Reliquary. It's a bit behind schedule. Sky has not had a force this entire game. He hasn't even... No hesitation. No tanking over any of these creatures, whether they should resolve or not. That makes sense about not caring too much about the creatures. The Dark Depths isn't much of a threat either. I mean, this giving them 20 life with swords kind of sucks, but I'm quite jealous of this situation. Like, I don't play any decks with swords to plowshares, so I have a lot more trouble with Merit Lage than they do. Sejeong is now pretty low on resources. This is a really rough spot. That Terminus, although not entirely unexpected, was, I gotta say, it's probably pretty backbreaking here. Predict draws him 2 cards at the end of his opponent's turn. He will untap. Sorry about this glare here. I don't know why. I thought I had gotten a pretty good location the past couple of weeks. Flashes his opponent a Flooded Strand instead of a sword. Makes many land drops. Sejeong's, like, he missed so many land drops. He kept a Landlight hand, and then he got 2 of his mana creatures Terminus here. And Sky feels comfortable enough that he starts slamming Snapcasters just for cantrips, which is when you know that you're feeling really comfortable. So he still has a Scalding Tarn available, I think. Yeah, he must. that blotch of
기회.
shininess right there. So he doesn't have to draw these brainstorm cards if he doesn't want. And wow, the predict does a much better job here than even Scalding Tarn brainstorming away stuff. Sejeong is he's not even treading water here. He's actually, I think his lungs are just full of miracle goodness right here. He's drawing. I see Scrib Ranger in hand, which is cute. Is Scrib Ranger going to kill a Snapcaster Mage right now?
하겠습니다. 네.
It's tempting to only cast Scrib during the combat step, but
1점 맞추고.
here we go. What's up? Yeah, that's a card I don't blame anyone for having to read. Sejeong has caught my Delvers in midair with that thing before. I think he has Snap Sword available, and I would be enticed. To Snap Sword this, because we got to save our Snapcaster, and we're now in the stage of the game where I feel really, really comfortable to just start the beatdown.
2점 맞추고.
Counterspell the Scrib Ranger, smashes in for 2. A creatureless GT will probably resolve here. Even though, I mean, a Sky has the resources to do so. Snap Counterspell wasn't unreasonable there. With Sejeong at 12, I'd be much more comfortable with 2 Snapcasters out of there than 1 in hand. I'm not sure Merit Lage can be well, I guess calling a 2020 creature like a slight problem is an understatement, but I mean, this deck doesn't run more than 1 copy of Thespian Stage. The only way that it jams in the combo in the middle of the deck is because of Knight of the Reliquary. The odds of him actually Thespian Staging you are so low that I think I'd rather get the game over with quicker rather than more conservatively holding up Snap. A very slow, methodical clock here. Watch him drop the Thespian Stage and he just looked like... Now he'll pull the trigger on the second Snapcaster, and this will speed up the clock to just... looks like Sejeong will pack it in without being threatened with lethal. That was a pretty painful game from his side. It feels like he kept a little bit of a leery hand, and it didn't really come together. And Sky powered ahead so fast. Those predicts are just insane, the amount of cards that the guy is holding in the mid game. Looks like we absentmindedly did not mark our health down for the Flooded Strand, so Sky's at 19. It's unlikely to be relevant. Deathrite resolves. Is Green Suns for Dryad Arbor resolving? Looks like it is. This is the kind of board that looks very, very sad to a top deck Terminus, but it's the kind of start that he really needs to kind of pull ahead and get into the mid game with a strong position here. But Sky just had the 2 swords by turn 2. Should be Knight. Knight looks like it's good. The raw utility of the lands in the deck can be quite strong here. Oh, I forgot to mention also last game, Sky had a Caracas that was hanging out near the top of his deck for quite a while. That's a really good insurance policy against Dark Depths. Maybe I would just not care about it. And turn 3, we have gone through 3 swords. He wanted to do that on his own main phase before Knight would untap and go find a creature. Tireless Tracker is here. And he'll bring along his first clue. It appears to be a cute little anime clue. Is that... I don't know if that... Does that draw cards better, or... This... He's probably going to get extremely aggressive with this Monastery Mentor. This card is super good. I don't understand. This thing was... It took over quite a few archetypes really fast. Right now, it's like Miracles is slowed down or whatever. People are still working on it, but it's not as hypey as it was directly after the ban when people started like... You know, just trying out Portents, trying out Soothsaying quite a bit. Monastery Mentor is not the only shell that he's shining in. Or sorry, Miracles is not the only shell that's like really performing well with a Monastery Mentor. I'm thinking the deck that showcases its power the most is Bomberman. I mean, I know some of those guys in Boulder that were working on developing the deck quite a bit, and played and lost against them a little bit earlier this year, before like the source thread blew up again and people started really playing it a lot online. Monastery Mentor in that deck is just insane value. We're not just talking about like bobble, make a bunch of dudes. We're talking about it makes the deck feel like an actual combo deck. The turn that Monastery Mentor hits the table is the pivotal point of the entire matchup. And that's sort of what this game is feeling like now. Because Sejeong likely doesn't have any removal for this thing, and it's going to get out of hand extremely quickly. Yo, Sky, where are your monk tokens? Like, this is unacceptable. Thank you. Scavenging Ooze arrives. He will start eating flashback targets, which is annoying.
얼마나 쓰셨어요?
아, 예.
As long as the Scooz is around and Sejeong is not tapped out of green mana, which he's going to avoid, Scavenging Ooze is actually going to make all the Snapcasters like pretty pitiful. Unfortunately, Monastery Mentor has survived, and I don't know if Sejeong had the presence of mind to keep some Abrupt Decays around.
프라우스 하나 있어요. 얘는 공격.
Okay, so maybe I was just being a blabbermouth earlier when that die was out, and he's not. That's not a monk. That was a reminder for how many prowess triggers he's looking at, or what? Probably gonna let him draw a Caracas. He's just gonna keep that choke in mind. I don't think he's not going to shuffle. Like, now that he knows what the threats are, what's coming, probably just leave that there. This amount of monks can get impossible to deal with extremely quick. What are we gonna do here?
네, 8, 8.
10점 맞지 않아요? 그냥 6이니까 18, 90 해서 해야죠. 핸드 두 장이시죠?
네, 두 장. 하세요.
제 스탬프지. 주장 좀 쓸게요.
네.
Screws will eat a creature. I don't know what creature was in his graveyard. Usually creatures get sorted or... Oh, hilarious. He landed the collected company. In Legacy. Last time he tried it against me, he was like, "You have the force?" I was like, "Yeah." Man. He got a Knight of the Reliquary.
몇 시에요? 아, 2발.
제 무덤엔 땅이 없어요.
So there are a lot of monks out here. Sky is going to get more monks. Sky is going to attack over the top of this honestly quite small knight. He also has the opportunity to use, he can cast a snap now on whatever he wants because the scavenging ooze isn't active. So he takes this time to go ahead and brainstorm. Here's a 5th monk and 1 prowess so far for the turn. He has 4 2/2 monks. He has 4 3/3 monks and 2. Oh man. Sejeong will scoop her up. Collected Company is pretty cool. Monastery Mentor is cooler.